All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Today is August 10. And today, well, is it really the last day of the? Listen, anyways, tomorrow is going to be the marathon. So tomorrow is really when the Olympics end. But today, the Olympics end for our athletes in Paris, France. It has been a trying Olympics, if I might add. It has been a very interesting Olympics, but I want to hear your thoughts. We're gonna do next week's show is going to be dedicated to the full review of the Olympics, but I still have to keep you posted on what has happened. Yes, over the past 10 days. Well, today's day 10. So if you would like to join in the conversation, feel free to WhatsApp me at 876-997-3125. Or if you want to call, yes, I'm going to open the phone lines today so we can talk about the Olympics. 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. For those who would like to join, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. You can send your thoughts there, your thoughts on the Olympics so far, or I'm also live on my TikTok. It's Kath Courtney. On my TikTok, I'm just, trying to include as many persons today on my live so that you can share your thoughts on what is happening with the Olympics. As I said, it has been an interesting Olympics for us so far. Some people might say, we're now still at 6 medals, 1 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze. And it's a lot has been happening, and we are hearing the reports, and we are hearing some not so good news. Top athletes getting injured, and this is not just for Jamaica. I just really feel like it's been overall, but I feel because we expect such a high standard from our athletes, so we are kind of expecting for us to do well all the time. I mean, 6 medals, it's still pretty good by our standards. 6 medals is still pretty good by our standards, but coming out of Olympics where we've cupped 13 and 12 and 11 medals, 6 medals can feel as if it's not enough. But our athletes, for sure, as we've heard each from each of them at the post-race interview, that they've gone out there to do their absolute best for this country, and I don't want us to miss that. Like, that's one of the things I want to resonate with us, that our athletes have done their absolute very best. As I watch Jakob Ingebrigtsen from Norway winning the men's 5,000 meters, and if you've been following the Olympics, you know that Jakob Ingebrigtsen was trying to double the 1,500, 5,000 double. However, he was not able to place in the 1,500 meters, but he just won gold in the 5,000 meters by great distances. I want to spend the first segment of the show to talk about some of the issues that have come up through the Olympics, and one of those have been one of those have been the treatment. Can I say treatment of our athletes, or just like the general condition or the general health of our athletes? For sure. Yes, Caroline. Yes. Well, Caroline, you and I need to talk because I don't know. I don't know where to start, but this is where I'm going to start. The general health of our athletes. Unfortunately for us, this Olympics, our athletes were just not at their best. Not everybody was at their best, and that is the truth. Not Some of our athletes were going in injured. We've heard from Sharika Jackson. Finally, she put out a statement yesterday saying, you know, she picked up the injury. I think it's in Hungary, and she just never recovered. She really thought her body would have bounced back, but it really didn't. And it's unfortunate. And then we heard of the issues with Shelley and Fraser Price. Obviously, somebody closing out their Olympics campaign, you definitely don't want to not, go out on like a high. And she did not get that high that she really desired to go out on as, you know, Olympic champion, world championships. I mean, she's definitely won it all. You think about it, she's won it. And at being able to compete at the very best. She has said this is her last Olympics, but she has not said that she's retiring. And that's one of the things. So I do believe that we will see her in the future, but just not at the Olympics. And then when you talk about us winning, the medals that we won, we have what? 4 from the field events, 2 from the track. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. But the health of our athletes, I mean, some of our athletes contracted COVID, and yes, we knew COVID was still around, but I believe because the Olympics had so many persons, because the athletes would have competed in Budapest, Hungary last year, and not many persons would have been ill or anything like that. But the more persons are around each other in terms of, maybe not keeping social distance, because we've laxed on the COVID measures, so we're not keeping social distance. Everybody is coming from all, I mean, there were 208 countries participating in the Olympics this year, and the reality is COVID in terms of spreading was a reality. I mean, you have thousands of athletes in the same area, sharing the same dining area, sharing the same facilities. If it is that something was going around or is going around, as COVID still is going around, then it would mean that it can be, as a communicable disease, been passed from one person to another. So that's just the reality of what's happening in terms of, our athletes. And we heard Nikisha Price heading home because she's not well. We heard Lani Tava Thomas say she's not well. We've just been hearing our athletes saying they're not well. Of course, Jaden Hibbert picked up a knee injury sometime in Paris. Then we also had just a series of unfortunate events. I think that's what I will call it. A series of unfortunate events. That's how I'm gonna sum up Jamaica's Olympic campaign. Paris just was not it for us. It definitely was it in terms of our field events, let's not say, but it definitely wasn't it for us on the track. And the truth is that we are going to win some, we're going to lose some, but I just didn't expect us to lose this badly. You get what I'm saying? Like this morning, Akira Nugent, second fastest in the world this year, and she just hit the first hurdle, and then that was it. We saw Malik James King coming into his semi-final. He was in second place, hitting the last hurdle. That was it. We saw Rashawn Clark yesterday hitting the last hurdle, and it ended up with a DNF. I mean, I could go on and on and on because Paris has dealt us a hand that boy. It's a hard hand that we've been dealt. It's a rough hand that it's a difficult hand that we've been dealt. But I'm going to talk about some of the other highlights from Paris. Of course, highlighting our gold medal, sorry, our medal winners, because right now we have one more chance of medaling at the Olympics, and that will come up later, 2:14 Jamaica time, for the women's 4x4 event. So that's our last chance to medal for the Olympics, this Olympics. So as I said, we currently have 6 medals, 1 gold, 3 silver, 2 bronze. As I watch Barshim from Qatar go over the high jump bar, we had Romain Beckford taking part in the high jump. I'll tell you what place he finished. I know he was not able to clear 2.27 meters. It's when we think it couldn't get worse, yeah, man. Then what happened this morning with Akira? It's just disappointment all around. But we're still proud of our athletes. We put out I would say a fairly young squad. I think the average age of the squad is probably like 22 or 21. And to see them still going out there fighting, they're doing their best. I mean, that is something to talk about. And 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds going down there and going out there and putting on their best for this country. I mean, yes, even though we're disappointed, it's still something that we can look forward to, because this won't be their last Olympics, right? I mean, there are some persons on the team I know this will be their last Olympics, like Shelly and Fraser Price. But for most of the team, maybe 3/4 or more of the team, this is their first Olympics. Their very, 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 very first Olympics. And they have done themselves well, given the circumstances that or the hand that they were dealt with. But we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back right here on Sports Talk.
Remember, update your status in a real life. Do a HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes, say status clear. Real long life, our story.
The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is...
It's now 1:15 p.m.
Grace Food's got the taste that moves you.
Grace is bringing family, food, and fun together in one place. Get ready for Grace Food Festival on August 24th at Hope Gardens. Gates open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy a day filled with culinary delights, kiddie zone, enough giveaways, back to school village, discounted Grace products, and live performance from Ding Dong and much more. Grace Food Festival, August 24th at Hope Gardens from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Get the skills and certification that equates to jobs and money worldwide. In 3 to 4 months at the Distinction College, start day, evening, and Saturday classes in pharmacy technician, bartending and mixology, project and HR management, cosmetology, airline ticketing, and sales. No subjects required, no age limits, no entrance tests. Register this week and win an additional course for free. Or visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, and Ocho Rios, or call us at 876-356-4167. Distinction College, the school of champions.
This is it. What you can't afford to miss. The Joycelyn Lewis Foundation presents The Redemption, August 16th, 2024. Featuring the headliner, American renowned artist Jacqueline Carr, and so many others. Ticket outlets: Fontana Pharmacies Islandwide, La Vega Pharmacy, St. Jago Plaza, St. Jago Pharmacy, Burke Road, Spanish Town, Genius Pharmacy, Portmore. Info line 842-5637 at Jam World. See you there.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk, right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And we are, just talking about the Olympics, reminiscing on some of the moments from the Olympics. Right. Right. So as I said, I feel like, we were dealt a difficult boy. Every time I think about it, I tell persons that I think once, from Sunday, Sunday, after what happened in the 100 meters, I literally just kind of felt very, I don't know, all of a sudden I was ill. Like it wasn't working. I just got sick and I was like, what? But one of the things is that I must admit, I really take sports very serious. I really do. And sometimes too serious if you ask me. I'm very passionate about sports, and I'm sure you guys can hear it when you tune into the show every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. But yeah, so back to the Olympics. So yeah, right. So this morning, Romain Beckford, just a while ago, he crashed out of the men's high jump. He cleared, I think, only 2.24 meters, but he finished 10th overall, which is not bad. I do believe this is his first Olympics, as we watch Faith Kipyegon winning the women's 1500 meters. She's created now a new Olympic record. Before we had Jakob Ingebrigtsen from Norway finishing first in the men's 5,000 meters. And Faith Kipyegon is from Kenya. She is also the world record holder in the women's 1500 meters. So it's good to see her winning the title that she is the event that she's the fastest woman at. Yeah. Yeah, we guys, we might not get a lot of trophies, but you can definitely, when I speak to anybody, there is definitely a level of disappointment. And I don't really want to dwell on that, but that is our reality this Olympics. It has been a reality of little highs and very, very, a lot of lows. But as I said, a lot of our athletes, they are young. This is their first Olympics. A lot of them. I mean, I could go down the list. A lot of our athletes. Maybe if I created the list of those who are in their second Olympics, you'd realize how many first-time Olympians we have. And that's a fact that they are going to bounce back. I am confident that this team will use this experience to propel them into other championships, will propel them into the world championships to come, will propel them into the Olympics to come, and that things will get better for Jamaica. This just has not been our championship. This championship reminds me of London 2017, where I think it probably was the same amount of medals that we got. If I think we may have gotten less medals in the World Championships in London 2017. And it was difficult for us because it's the same London track in 2012 where Shelley and Fraser Price defended one, and yes. And Elaine Thompson Hero won and Bolt won, and we just had people winning. And then 5 years later, we returned to this track and we just didn't do so well. But there's another side that I want to look at this from. And I started last week talking about our administration. I don't understand. And hopefully when they return, we can get to talk to somebody from JOA or somebody from J3, is because something is not adding up. The math is not mathing. We can't have so many athletes complaining and then JOA and J3 saying that's not how it goes. it something is not right. But I'm going to get to the bottom of it. But we've heard from Daniel Thomas Dodd. We've heard from Lamara Distin. There are other persons there also, and I'm sure as the Olympics end, we will be hearing more stories, especially for the field athletes. And let me tell you, the issues raised by Daniel Thomas Dodd, it's not new. I mean, I could list names and go on and on and on and on. I could go Jason Morgan. I could even go our regular throwers. I could go on and on. I could go to coaches, the track coaches who also talk about, you know, field events not being supported as it should, because the athletes don't get their coaches. The coaches don't get the passes to go to these major championships, and they have to go there and be out there by themselves. And that is a reality that our field athletes pay, our field events athletes have to deal with. And coming into this Olympics, coming out of this Olympics, we've had 4, including a gold medal, coming from field events. And if we don't see, if the bodies that be, if the J3As and the GOA, if they don't think that that is significant coming out of this championship, they really need to check themselves. It is significant that 4 out of 6 of these medals came from field events. We have to do better as it how we treat our field events athletes, just field events overall. Corporate Jamaica has to do better in terms of how they support field events as well. Because you have the big track meets that, you know, we throw all the support at, but when it comes on to the field, like the big throws and all those field events only competitions, we don't throw the support. But yet still we want to just, you know, we want to see the best, but we don't want to invest in it. If somebody's 100, 200 meter hurdler, yes, they'll throw their support around it, but not in the field. I mean, I can tell you probably outside of right now, Jaden Hibbert, and I think he's the only one right now, and Dwayne Pinnock, who is sponsored by Gatorade. I mean, most of our athletes, they're either sponsored by Puma, who sponsors Jamaica's track and field, or Nike. But the reality is the track athletes are the one that they get the bigger sponsorship, they get the bigger opportunities. When I talk about field events, the reality is we didn't even see, so not even the IOC themselves, because field events at this Olympics was not even shown that much. I had to be on a World Athletics app every time a field event was going on to see what was happening, because we only saw really when somebody went into first place. We did not see any field event for any extended period of time. And if you saw it, you let me know. But we did not see any field events, neither in the qualification round nor in the finals. And usually, I mean, I know in terms of IWF usually dedicates like a channel to field events, but I don't know, I guess it's because of the Olympics. You just never really saw any field events. Anything you wanted to know, you have to look on it online. I think now that the men's high jump is going on now, this is probably the most we've seen out of a field event. And it's right now because nothing else is going on. There's nothing competing with it right now. But once there was anything happening, once there was anything happening on the track, that would take precedent over what was happening in the field. And so if the international body themselves does not create this type of interest, this type of traction around the field events, then so is everybody. Nobody's going to know what's going on. And some of these field events, they were so close. They were so interesting, but I don't think they got the time of day. We didn't even see like the top 8, like in any of the events, I don't think we kind of saw like the top 8 jumpers. We didn't like, go in and saying, okay, top 8, let's see round 4, round 5, or round 6. We didn't. We saw the person who came first. We probably saw the second place. God bless if we saw the third place. And we may see the person who came fourth and fifth, but not the top place. Not the top 8. Yes, we see when they introduce them, but I don't think that that's enough to highlight field events. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. It just didn't. And I think if I were to say something that I'm displeased about in the Olympics, it would be the lack of field events that we saw on the TV. Yeah, that we saw from the coverage. And boy, I just don't know, because the reality is sometimes the field events are more interesting than what's going on the track. And you can sometimes hear it in the stadium, like when the athletes are running, you kind of hear the buzz going on. The buzz was not necessarily created by track athletes. That buzz was created by field events. But I guess we have to, the IWF, IOC, JOA, J3As, they have to look. I mean, on a local level, JOA and J3As, but internationally, IOC and IWF, I think Lord Sebastian Coe and everybody, they have to look at the coverage, how the coverage was, and the hype and the height about on track and non on field. And I thought we were heading into the right direction, especially how we got to see so much field last year, even in the World Championships in Budapest, even in Oregon. We saw channels dedicated to field events. That didn't happen this time, boy. But we move on, yeah? We move on, and we're going to go for a break, and we're going to come back right here on Sports Talk.
Are you between the ages of 15 to 19? Do you want to excel in your academic studies while making a difference by sharing Jesus Christ? Enroll now at Youth Reaching Youth. We will help you grow in faith and knowledge. Our offerings include evangelism, leadership development, and a variety of academic studies through our 6th form pathway program, CSEC, CAPE, and City and Guilds, CAPE Diploma and Associate Degree, Allied Healthcare Assistance, NVQ Level 2, and Phlebotomy CCC. Join us and become a nation changer today. Call 876-926-7163. That's 876-926-7163 to register. Youth Reaching Youth, changing our nation through Christ.
Gear up the schoolers! July 15 to September 14, Bashka's amazing back-to-school deals just for you. Buy a case of books and receive a box of pencils and pens. Don't miss special discounts on computer tables and chairs starting August 1st. That's not all! 2 lucky winners will receive a Samsung tablet or a $30,000 back-to-school shopping spree. Follow us on all socials at Bashka Jamaica for more information. Visit Bashka today and gear up the schoolers. Bashka, the store that gives you more.
This is it. What you can't afford to miss. The Joycelyn Lewis Foundation presents The Redemption, August 16th, 2024, featuring the headliner, American renowned artist Jacqueline Carr, and so many others. Ticket outlets: Fontana Pharmacies Islandwide, La Vega Pharmacy, St. Jago Plaza, St. Jago Pharmacy, Burke Road, Spanish Town, Genius Pharmacy, Portmore. Info line 842-5637 at John World. See you there.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And of course, we're talking about Olympics. What else could we be talking about? What else could we be talking about? What else? What else? What else? Should I or should I not? All right. Somebody asked me, so I'm just gonna deal with it, and then I'm going to And then I'm going to go right back to the Olympics 2 days ago. And this is not football. I am just jumping. Just for the persons who are listening for the Olympics, I apologize. Somebody asked, and so I promised I would answer. So this is me answering. All right, cool. So 2 days ago, Jamaica officially welcomed Coach McLaren as the new head coach of the Reggae Boys. The journey to greatness continues, and we're ready to rise together. Let's make history. And yes, Coach McLaren says, according to him, he says Jamaica has always been in the back of his mind because it was the one country in which the potential and talent is here. And to give this 2 minutes, right? I think we hear about potential and talent a lot. We've not seen it being utilized or the potential coming out. I don't know. I don't know. It's good to hear that Jamaica has the potential and the talent, but I don't think that materializes into anything much. I mean, we do create 1 and 2 persons out of it, but it's improving. And I must say, organization like the JPFL, running by CEO Owen Hill and other persons, are establishing the local football, and local football now has a ring to it again. And so, yeah, it's looking like, it's looking like it's on the up, and different investments that are being made into local football. I hope that continues, and that that will be like a stepping stone for bigger things to come for Jamaica football. But we have Coach McLaren. Let's see what he will bring to the table. Let's see what exactly what his plans are. I think it's always difficult when we have a new coach come in and they have to get acclimatized. So, we have to go through that period. But I mean, Jamaica is still searching to be a part of the World Cup. And trust me, people, if we don't make it to the next World Cup, we can't kiss going to the World Cup goodbye, because this is probably the easiest. This World Cup is being hosted, just in case, right? Let me just remind the listeners, the next World Cup will be hosted by USA, Canada, and Mexico. Okay? You heard me? USA, Canada, and Mexico. They'll host the next World Cup. Right? And they are within our qualification group. Right? So, and they're the host. So they get automatic qualification. Right? As I watch Muta Essa Barshim failing his attempt at 2 meters 33 in the men's high jump. I'm so sorry. Just have to keep it posted, right? On the high jump. Actually 2 meters 36. And he finishes third, it seems, in the men's high jump, right? Back to what I was saying, right? So so usually the US, Mexico, and Canada qualifying all the time, usually in this region for World Cup. And they're now the host, so they get automatic qualification. It means that Jamaica has a prime opportunity to qualify for this World Cup, because it means that we only have like 2 or 3 other teams. And I think it's still going to be the 3 teams out of this CONCACAF zone. You tell me that we can Panama and El Salvador and then people that we can finish above them to qualify for the next World Cup? Yeah, people. If it don't happen for 2026, so I don't think it's gonna happen again. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen again. But we look to see what Coach McLaren brings to the table. Let's see how he's able to integrate our local players and the English-based players. Let's see if he's gonna go high high with, the English intake, and that also has to do with like the level of play, because the truth is we our local players right now, they're getting there but they're not there, and the surfaces that we have are not the best either. So there's so many things that work against us in this trying to match in terms of getting the local players and the English players to play, on similar to same level. And that's why most of our players, they go to the MLS or they go to other leagues across the world where the surfaces are better and they don't have to have a job and play football. That's what most of our locals, the reality of most of our local players is that they have to have a 9 to 5. And then after their 9 to 5, they go to training. The rest of the world don't do that. The rest of the world is football is your 9 to 5. Actually, football is your 12 hours. So you go to training in the morning and afternoon sessions, then evening sessions and practice games. That is the reality of football, professional football, but that's not our reality right now. And as I said, there are steps being taken to make it that, but we also have to do, like, as a country, we also have to do the proper investments as well. Yes, everything takes money. Everything, every single thing takes money. To do anything is gonna take money. That's just how the world works. So we have to do the investment and we have to start from our youth programs. So we can't just expect, everybody yeah. We'll have to invest in the youth programs. We'll have to create more schools like Mount Pleasant where the boys have an academy. So it is school but football. So their curriculum is tailored based on the amount of games that they have to play. All of that stuff, they go away to European camps. They can do all sort of other things, because it's not restricted to that. Oh, you have to complete class by this amount of time, and an academy, and that's how academies in Europe and all over the world. That's how it's set up. The curriculum is tailored to the sport that you're doing. So yes, you still get an education, but it's not curtailed to just somebody who is going to school full time. And I think that's sometimes how we lose some of the talent in Jamaica, because our students, it is required that you have to go to school, and then they have the extracurricular. So talent it's hard to balance in a regular system. But yeah, so that's it. We wish the team all the best and really hope that we get to the World Cup. I think our next game, or Coach McCarron's first game in charge, will be right here at the National Stadium on September 6th. And let me tell you who we're playing so that, I'm not misquoted. September 6th, we'll be playing Cuba. September 6th at 7 o'clock, and that will happen at the National Stadium. And that would be Coach McLaren's first game in charge. I think also, one of my friends, he posted yesterday after going to the JFF press conference, and he said, one of the things is that we are expecting first world results with third world resources or something. I don't want to misquote, but pretty much that's what he was saying. We are expecting Reggae Boys to give us first world results with third world resources. Yeah, cannot happen. It cannot keep. It cannot keep. That cannot keep. Can't happen. And the truth is that I do think that at some point we have to make changes. I don't know. Sports administrators in Jamaica just don't seem to be the best. I don't think that they're the worst, but boy, some improvements can be made. How they communicate. Communication is key. But boy, I don't think our sports administrators, they don't have it. They don't have it, people. They don't have it. And we've seen it time and time again. Whether it's reggae girls, whether it's reggae boys, whether it's Leon Bailey, whose birthday is today. Anybody. Whether it's anybody. anybody at all. You call a name, anybody. It's just poor communication all around, and what is expected, or what coach saying, or who have different say from the coach. So I'm wondering if Coach McLaren really know what he's getting himself into, because he may want to play a particular squad, but tell he be hearing that him can't play the squad because so and so and this and not and that, and too many people have say, man. Too many people in charge. And that's the harsh reality that we face in our administration. Yeah, Caroline. Yes, I feel the same way, Caroline. You would think that the men are supposed to be leaders. So the ability to lead should not come very difficult for them as men. But boy, yeah, J3A, JFG, they just make it look like no, man, rocket science. And then, because that's something I also want to talk about as well in the next segment. And it's not necessarily bashing, but we have to talk the truth. My grandmother would say, talk the truth and shame the devil. We have to talk the truth. Or sports administrators have been poor. They have been poor, very poor too. Like the communication, them responding to people with press releases and them something that no, we don't do those things. We have to be better. And if Jamaica is to be better in football, if Jamaica is to be better in track and field, which is track and field is probably the number one sport. And don't let me get started on netball, because don't let me get started there. Because a sport that we are highly rated in the world does not get the investment that it requires. But we're going to go for a break. We're going to go for a break right here on Sports Talk. We'll be right back.
Every day you're an inspiration with the things them way you do. The everyday work and the everyday play. Whether you eat food with your friend them or you build track and run with him, Flow is committed to the everyday, going the extra mile, mile after mile every day. And the best is yet to come. Flow, every day better.
Why suffer from heartburn, gas, upset stomach, or indigestion? Get fast, effective, long-lasting relief from Benjamin's Antacid. Benjamin's Antacid works faster than a hot cup of tea. Benjamin's, the trusted name for over a century.
This is it. What you can't afford to miss. The Joycelyn Lewis Foundation presents The Redemption, August 16th, 2024. Featuring the headliner, American renowned artist Jekyll & Carr, and so many others. Ticket outlets: Fontana Pharmacies Islandwide, La Vega Pharmacy, St. Jago Plaza, St. Jago Pharmacy, Burke Road, Spanish Town, Genius Pharmacy, Portmore. Info line 842-5637 at Drum World. See you there.
Get ready for another inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer, this Monday, August 12th. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the future becoming you. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with the Morning Coffee Pick Me Up devotional at 6 a.m. Cruise with love on your radio inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. At 8:30 a.m. inside The Healthy Way, we discuss meningitis. And at 9:30, we wrap things up with something more, brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. Stick and stay with us. This Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
We know that abuse of any kind in any relationship is unhealthy. But what can make an intimate relationship unsafe? Anything that is harmful. Some are obvious, but others not so much. So Monday, August 12 on Family Time, join host O'Neill Campbell and guest Reverend Christopher Broadber as they discuss the topic unsafe intimate relationships. That's Family Time, Monday, August 12 at 5:30 p.m. here on the Family Station, Love 101.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the Family Station, Love 101 FM. And of course, we're talking about the Olympics, but let's see what's happening here. Interesting. Are we going to have the sharing of a gold medal? Yes. Okay, for the second Olympics in a row, the gold medal in the men's high jump will be shared. This time it shall be McEwen from USA and Hamish Carr from Australia. No, New Zealand. Interesting. The gold medal is going to be shared again. This is the second time in a row this is happening, people, in the men's high jump. The gold medal was shared in Tokyo 2020 Tokyo, which took place in 2021. And now in 2024 in Paris, we are having the high jump gold medal being shared again. Boy, this I tell you, people, field events, very interesting, and just don't get the time of day, man. Buta Essa Barshim finishes with the bronze to go with his gold from Tokyo. But yeah, back to our discussion. Back to our discussion. Let me see if I can also, because people be asking, so I have to give them the information. Let me tell you another thing. The women's 4x4, it's actually closing today's Olympics, and that's I think this is the first time this is happening in the Olympics. Oh, wait. Okay, so I thought they were sharing the medal, but they're not. They're going to do a jump off. Interesting. Why they wouldn't want to share the medal? I thought they were done, people, but they're not, actually. I'm not listening to any commentary. I'm just literally watching it, so that's why. I thought they would have just shared the medal. Why they wouldn't share the medal? Anyways. Right. Yeah. So back to the administrators. We heard from Ludlow Watts, and we also heard from Mr. Samuda. His first name slips me right now. It's not the politician name, so that's why I don't want to say the first name, because what is coming to my head is the politician, but it's not him. The Samuda JOA president person, the one in charge at JOA. I don't know. There was some arrogance that comes from the interview. So I had a problem with how they had the interviews, not how the answers were from the interviews. I just don't. Something is not. Yeah, coming back to the leaders or administrators. Mr. Watt said something that really, really, really it impacted me so much. It's the only thing I can hear in my head going over and over. And when I see him, it's the only thing I can think of when he said the administrators, persons are talking, or they're persons talking as if they know about administration. And I said, sir, you cannot say these things. That you cannot go on public television and say that people don't know about administration. You cannot say that because they're people, that's what they do for their job. So whether you're doing it for sports, yes, it's gonna look different, but the principles of administration do not change. The procedures of administration, they do not change. So yes, it was administration error why Naoka Clunis did not make it to the Olympics, and I'm still very upset about it. Because excuses that you give about the full arm, like gone, and all those things are not sufficient for somebody to miss the Olympics because somebody didn't do their job. So when persons are out here criticizing, it's because we, at the layman eyes, can see that obviously something went wrong. We're not trying to make up, we're not out here making up stories or being too hard. But if the administration or administrators across sports, if they continue to make the same mistakes, people are gonna say, well, maybe you are not the best person for the job then. And the errors, it's not like it's small errors, but it's big deal because Naoka Clunis did not appear in Paris. And we can go on and on about this, but the reality is, and I will go back to it, 4 out of the 6 medals that we currently have come from field events. And we can use Roger Stoner as a perfect example. Coming into the finals with a personal best of 69.05 meters, which was probably 5th in the best, 5th in the world, or 6th in the world. And he threw a personal best, an Olympic record, and won the gold medal. And that's a field event. So when you do not allow, when somebody misses the opportunity to represent their country at the highest level, there's nothing higher than the Olympics. For track and field and for many other sports, an Olympic medal is worth the world. And that's why our athletes, no matter, that's why Kali Spencer and all of those who got back their medals that were wrongly taken from them by people who took drugs to use on an advantage. That's why they made their way all the way to Paris to collect a medal, because that means a lot. Your legacy is dictated by how many medals and how many times you win. That's the world of athletics. So when somebody misses that opportunity and you're going to come and say, oh, the general public, they're not to say anything because we don't know, people don't know about administration. Come on. I think it has to be better than that. And the standards that they're held to is like zero, because guess what? the reality is that these bodies, they don't report to anybody locally. So they just do as they feel and say what they want to say. And if you're offended, you're offended. And if you're not, you're not. And that is the harsh reality that we face with sporting events, that they don't really answer to government. They don't really answer. They answer to the higher bodies. And, as I was discussing with a friend, the higher bodies only step in when things are at its worst. And even though we are here pretty much killing up ourselves, they don't feel like it's at its worst, because guess what? They don't. I don't know how audited processes are run, but it seems as if these bodies audit themselves. Boy, it's just a big joke, if you ask me. And that is why I don't think the administration will get any better, because we're not being held to any standards. We're not being held to any standards at all. And that is a very sad reality. A very, 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 very sad reality, that we're not being held to any standards. And we will continue. These things will continue to plague us. Continue to be our nightmares. But I really hope after this Olympics that the J3s and the JOA, they would look into themselves. They would look amongst themselves and to say, we went wrong somewhere. Because Nayoka Clunis could not make it to Paris. And then the other issues that we are hearing from the ground. And I hope that the IOC will look into themselves and the, IWF, they would look into themselves also and see what standard did they really bring for this Olympics. This going green and athletes have to stay outside of the village. And not only that, not only did the athletes have to stay outside of the village, but then there were issues for Sha'Carri Richardson and Shelly Ann Fraser Price for the women's 100 because somebody decided to change the rule overnight and decided not to tell anybody. And then you just wonder, like, what? Like, so you could really just change a rule and not communicate that, and that people turn up for semifinals and have to walk half an hour to get to the to get to the warm-up facility? Come on, man. And we say that administrators, with other people can't look on and say, you went wrong there. I'm sure if I put somebody there and I said, check this is supposed to be done and it's supposed to be done by X time. Who's doing the cross check? It's just that everybody just works independent. Nobody cross checks anybody work. There's no cross checking that is done. We just leave it up in arms. And then let me not talk about the alternates because we should be happy. Even though the ladies became fifth, and this would be my final point for today, we should be happy that Kemba was training in Spain. Lest we would not have a women's 4x100 meters because we decided that whomever decided that we were not going to pay to take the alternate to Paris. Yeah. That sums up definitely how I feel about the Olympics. But we do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. This has been Sports Talk. I hope you guys also enjoyed the broadcast for Double the Love. And of course, I'm just gonna finish off some things, play some music. But yeah, this has been Sports Talk. See you on the other side.